The phones, though, a bunch of interesting updates, like actually new hardware. So let's start with the Fold 7. Fold 7 is, they did the thing where it is actually different and new and better to use both closed and open. So the outside display is wider, the bezels are thinner, and the entire phone is dramatically thinner. So using it closed feels closer than ever to a regular phone. That's like the whole point. Open, each side half is like 4.2 millimeters or something crazy, and you close it up and it's like a little over 8 millimeters, close to the dimensions of an S25 Ultra. It's actually lighter than an S25 Ultra. So you're holding the thing and looking at it, and with one hand, it's reachable. It feels like a regular phone. You open it, and it's a bigger than ever 8-inch screen. It's pretty square still, but that's your multitasking display. That's your full screen games and videos with big black bezels. But that is the Galaxy Z Flip experience. It's better open than it was before. It's better closed than it was before. Z Fold, sorry. They also gave it the 200 megapixel sensor from the S25 Ultra. So slightly different optics, but big camera for the primary camera. They didn't quite get flagship cameras in all of the rest. There's still an ultra wide and a 3x telephoto, but it is a big ultra primary camera now, which is good. And I've also never seen a phone rock like that on a table in my life. In my whole life. I'm 31 years old. I've reviewed a lot of phones. I've never seen a phone rock like that on a table. So that was impressive. And then 3 other smaller potential downsides. One, I know, David, you saw somebody using an S Pen with a
I realized that I didn't tell this story in the podcast. I told it before the podcast, and I referenced it on the podcast as if I had told it.
Yeah.
So let me tell the story, and then we'll be sad for her.
Sure.
Okay, so I'm in the airport, right? Be me, airport. You're sitting, waiting for your flight for 3 hours because you get there way too early.
I was say Marques cannot
Couldn't be
comprehend.
me.
Already lost him.
Couldn't be me.
I see this old woman being pushed in a wheelchair, as they do in the airport, right?
Mm-hmm.
She's like going along with, oh, that's an old woman. That's what I thought. And then I noticed as she's coming by me, I was like, what's she holding? She's holding a fully opened Galaxy Fold 6.
Wow.
And not only is she holding the fully open Galaxy Fold 6 while being pushed in the cart, she's using the S Pen with it.
Whoa.
And I was like, huh, okay.
Yeah.
I went from like, wait, are foldable phones only for young people to, wait, are foldable phones better for old people?
Yeah, when you first told the story, I was like, that makes so much sense.
Yeah, it was like big screen, big words, big icons.
Biggest font you've ever seen.
Yeah, like you've seen
Wow.
the people on the plane with like the giant font. But
yeah.
with an open fold, you can have it be like
Even bigger font.
even bigger.
Yeah. So the bad news is the Fold 7, no S Pen support.
Oh my goodness.
They got rid of it. They justified
So
it.
it's not an Ultra. That was my question.
Oh, really?
I had one question. Can you use the S Pen on this thing?
Yeah, so they use the word ultra in the marketing a lot. Probably too much.
That's what made me think it had S Pen support.
Yeah, the only ultra thing about it is they brought the Ultra's 200 megapixel camera, primary camera, to this Fold. But that's really the only thing they brought from the Ultra. Everything else is very much in line.
I feel like we fully eclipsed the dream of the Fold having the pen in it, right? Because like they kept getting so close. They like added the case that had the. First, they just sold the pen separately, and it was like, we're gonna lose that.
Mm-hmm.
And then they made the like 4 Galaxy phones, four Fold one, which was thinner and it had the like
Special S
the
Pen.
special pen that was like lighter
Softer
and
tip.
softer.
Mm-hmm.
And then they sold the case with it that had the pen in it. And I was like, okay, we're one step closer to it just being in the phone like the Note.
Yeah.
And then
I think they
got rid of it.
So they made all of that progression and then looked at the numbers, and nobody's using the S Pen with it, which is like maybe a chicken and egg thing because it's so hard to remember to bring the S Pen with you that maybe people just didn't want to do it. And if they just put a spot on the phone for it, people would use it more.
Or even just have it magnetized to the side like this one.
Even that
You'd lose
though,
that in your
it falls
pocket?
off.
Oh, man.
Don't you put that in the bag
She
though?
gone.
Yeah.
Doesn't it fall off every time?
What is a pocket but a bag on my pants?
That's fair. The S Pen would end up in your pocket every time. But
would the old woman have baggy pants, like trap pants?
well, or a purse or a bag or a travel bag, whatever. But nevertheless, they got rid of the digitizer layer. They were able to make the ultra thin glass layer on top thicker.
like an extra digitizer that they had.
They had
for
an
it?
extra digitizer layer for the S Pen support. They got rid of it. It doesn't support S Pen anymore.
Insane.
So that's one. Two is
Chaos.
so the battery is the same size, which is impressive in a thinner phone, but 4,400 milliamp hours. If you've seen what silicon carbon batteries are doing in other ultra thin foldable phones and other places, this is less impressive. Like the Honor Magic 5 is the one I showed in my impressions video, which is actually thinner than Samsung's phone.
Yeah.
And just as light and has like a 5,800 milliamp hour battery.
I have something I want to note.
Yep.
So when I was at Google I/O, a Google engineer came up to me and they said, "Hey, David, I know you guys keep talking about silicon carbon batteries on the podcast. I just want to tell you that, like, as an engineer, these silicon carbon batteries last substantially shorter periods of time than like the traditional cells.
You mean like lifespan?
Lifespan wise. And he said after like a few years, they lose like a ton of capacity. And so whether or not that's true, he's the engineer, not me.
Interesting.
But I think that probably the reason that these bigger companies, or at least companies that are bigger in Western markets, are sticking still with these older things is because they're the ones doing like 7 years of software upgrades. Whereas it seems
That is
like
a really interesting point.
a lot of the Chinese phones, it's like they release 20 of them a year. And they're just like boom, boom,
Yeah.
boom, boom, boom.
And it's also, so that's an interesting point. I kind of wonder how much shorter they last when you see
He
hear a
said
comment
like
that.
by 2 to 3 years, they're like degenerated a lot more than
Yeah.
the traditional ones are.
Because, the ones that are lagging on silicon carbon batteries, at least now that we're seeing all these updates, are like the big major flagships, Samsung Galaxy
Exactly.
S, Pixel,
That are sold in
iPhone.
Western markets too.
Yeah. And these are phones that people tend to have for many years.
Right.
Where almost every other phone, like the enthusiast phones, the ones that are bought by people who upgrade more often,
Those are
can
the
do
ones
that.
that-
It's
yeah.
like we just saw the Nothing Phone 3, but also like the Oppo, Find whatever, and the OnePlus 13, and like all these phones with silicon carbon batteries, which
Yeah,
are great
Find a
and
5.
will be awesome for years, but maybe not the 7, 8, 9 years.
Exactly.
of
Like
flagship.
it's people that are going to be upgrading their phone more often because they're more enthusiasts. I don't know. I mean, if you're a battery engineer, please tweet at us or something.
I mean, I could argue that the Fold is one of those phones that people are not going to use for 7, 8, 9 years. I think that's an enthusiast phone. It's
Yeah.
a $2,000 folding
Yeah.
phone.
That's fair. Yeah.
But we'll see. I think that's my concern is 4,400 milliamp hours when it has a massive 8-inch screen on the inside is like not going to be the best battery life, but
Yeah.
TBD.
Yeah. DVD.
I think I had one more negative. Oh, the Flip has an Exynos chip. So if we want to talk about the
FE,
Flip,
right?
but both.
What? What?
Yep, they switched from a Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 to an Exynos 2500.
Gen 3.
for the
Did they tell
Z
you
Flip
why?
7. They didn't tell me why. In fact, it was kind of hard to get the information out of them in the first place. They said it's got an incredible 3-nanometer chip. And then I go, yeah, but which one though? And then they go, it's Exynos 2500. So yeah, that is potentially a downside of the new Flip. But the new Flip is also bigger. It has a bigger battery, 4,300 milliamp hours versus 4,000. It has a bigger external 4.1-inch display. The fun fact I just
the
retweeted,
Razer.
Christian Selig just tweeted, it's a bigger screen than the original iPhone.
Whoa.
The outside secondary
No
screen
way.
on the Flip is bigger than the original iPhone
Wait, that's
screen.
crazy.
So yeah, it's fully
It's a
like
different
edge to
aspect
edge.
ratio too, but-
Yeah, it's a square, but it's like around the cameras now, which are just punch through cutouts. It's a 6.9-inch screen inside instead of 6.7. So
Wow.
bigger Flip, thinner fold. Thoughts, questions?
Do
like
they have
the
decks?
Yes, both have decks. Very exciting.
Let's go.
Yeah.
You know what's
Keeping
funny
that
too?
pre-order now.
They had a part in the keynote where they were doing this skating spot with the skater person, and someone was filming with the Flip as if it was a handy
like a
cam,
camcorder,
which is a feature that the Moto Razr brought a couple of years ago, and they have it. It's very fun.
They
the
lean
way
into
that-
the retro
They
thing.
lean into it a lot. Like it has a different UI, and you can like zoom in and out like you would do in a normal camcorder, and the UI is different. And it's cool. I'm wondering if they're going to have anything like that, but it is funny that Samsung's like following Moto on this. Also, Moto had the full screen like way before Samsung.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did.
So,
But this is just Samsung going, like they looked around at others that were innovating in the space because technically they were first, but they went around and looked at the other successful features and they just adopted those into theirs. This is not the first thin fold either,
No.
but they just adopted that. They've re-engineered the hinge and the displays and all that to make less of a crease, and now they're the big one. So they're the one that people will see.
yeah, it is nice to have that full screen, and I wonder if they're going to do any weird games like Moto did. They also had like some stuff where you'd have to like they used the cameras as little buckets, and you had to like land them.
It was like a maze, and you I think use the gyroscope, right?
Yeah.
I did like that they did just because it reminded me of S10e days where they did like wallpapers on the front screen that used the cameras as part
yeah.
of like the
I'm into
like
that.
cat's eyes or something like
I've
that.
always been into that.
Very nice.
Last major point, Fold 7 is $100 more expensive. It's $19.99 starting.
Yeah.
Flip 7 is
Also
the same price, $10.99
price.
starting, and then the FE is how you get in cheaper. That's $8.99 for an Exynos 2400.
Damn, that's still expensive though. Because
It
like
is.
when Razer did their cheaper fold,
That was
full flipping version a few years ago, that was like $600 or $700 bucks.
$699.
That was like a great deal for if you want to be the person who's like, well, I'm not gonna spend too much on a phone, but it folds. What is this?
Yeah, yeah.
This is still pretty expensive.
Do any of these have G2?
Nope.
No.
You knew that answer already.
I didn't
like-
see it in the doc. I had to
You knew
make
that
sure.
I
I was
know,
waiting
it's
for
sad.
so long, dude.
Yeah, the Samsung experience is don't expect silicon carbon, don't expect Qi 2, don't expect ultra fast charging, don't expect like the crazy features. Just, the stuff that's proven. Once 1 or 2 years of Magic phones do it, all right, we can do that too.
I can't wait to
a
see
lot of
the
clips.
fold. It does look significantly thinner.
It
and,
feels
like
so
pretty
different.
awesome.
Yeah.
The Rock I also really want to see in person because it's
We can
so
bring him on the
funny.
podcast.
Not the person.
Wait, what?
The rocking on the table.
Oh,
Sorry.
oh.
The video of you rocking it on the table
Got
is
it.
so funny.
Yeah, it's
The Rock Lobster?
Yeah.
Freaky.
We should also mention that the FE, the screen is last year's screen. So, did we say that already?
yeah, the FE is
Adam did.
fully just a Flip
Adam
6 with
Yeah, it's just a
Exynos.
Flip 6 with Exynos.
Yeah.
Just a way to
I'm
sell
kind
stuff
of
again.
thinking if that's the one to get this year.
The
Because I feel
Flip
like the
6?
like the Flip 7 and the Fold 7 didn't really impress me that much. And this one at that price, or maybe even last year's phone if you get it at a discounted price, I feel assuming you want to flip,
Yeah.
not a Fold.
I think this is a big jump for the Fold, just as far as usability, with all the thinnerness and lighterness. The Flip, I could see that argument being fine. Like, I want to see tests for these Exynos chips because there's rumors of like, oh, Samsung's going to go fully back to Exynos for everything. TBD. I want to see benchmarks. I want to test this thing, but we don't have it yet, so I can't really say this is the one to get this year. I just want to see like what they're actually capable of.
Interesting.
But yeah, that's the
Okay.
new Folds and Flips.
Any of you guys like music?
no.
Big
No?
fan.
No.
Yeah.
Big fan of music? Did
Big
you
fan.
hear
You mean
who
U2?
who just released a new album?
You
No,
too.
who?
Clips.
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 They just released new music?
Yeah, new music from Clips.
Oh, how do I
And-
find it?
Wherever you listen to music. But this is not the new Clips album, but this is the outro to the Clips album of the episode that we recorded this week. And you just watched.
Is an album like a playlist?
An album is like a playlist, but every single track is called either like or subscribe, and they alternate. It's like, there's like and subscribe, like and subscribe, like and subscribe.
What about like to and to subscribe to? Like if the album was longer.